place, a smile on every face. Children at play, time with family today. Someone fill my plate, homemade bread, I can't wait. I can't get enough, I will always stay in touch with my Baha Marland, yeah.
Rare Voice introduces Baha Marland, an unlimited nationwide calling plan for only $5 a month. So call home today and connect again with Baha Marland. Home never felt so close.
My Baha Marland, yeah.
The Deputy Prime Minister calls talks over Baha Mar roadworks cost troubling. The Bahamas Telecommunications Company becomes the victim of copper theft. The State Minister for Finance talks tax collection, plus we take you inside a self-defense class. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NP12, the Weekend Edition, starts now. Topping news tonight. 9 months after the Christie administration revealed it would pay Baha Mar a substantially lower amount of money to cover its share of the new West Bay Street, the two sides still haven't reached a resolution. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis admits he finds the situation troubling. Vonique Toot reports.
For months, government and Baha Mar officials claimed that negotiations over the rerouted West Bay Street were nearing an end and could even be completed before the end of 2013. However, they're now forced to admit that the process isn't going as smoothly as they would have hoped. The two sides just can't seem to agree on the amount of money the Christie administration should pay to cover its portion of cost of the construction of road, which runs along the multi-billion-dollar resort campus. In July 2013, Prime Minister Perry Christie said government is obligated to jealously guard the country's revenue. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis told NB12 that hasn't changed.
I'm responsible for the payment money, and I want to make sure that what I'm paying is what is due, and I'm sure the Baha Mar is wanting to collect what they think is due, and therein lies the issue.
Government initially agreed to pay just under $48 million to Baha Mar to help cover the cost of the new West Bay Street. However, technical experts advised officials to pay less. The Christie administration has paid the developer $30 million so far, but decided not to make any more payments until the two sides have reached a resolution. Davis admits it's become a vexing issue.
It's always troubling when people genuinely disagree about things, and then it takes a protracted route to at least to agree to resolve it one way or the other. That's always troubling, but it is part of the process. And
it's unclear when the two sides will agree on an amount, but Davis says talks continue.
I had a meeting last week with some of their groupings, and we are in the process of looking at some other documents that they're providing for us, and when that is complete, I think we'll be in a position to firm up our position to put to them.
Both former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram and opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis have criticized the Christie administration for failing to honor its commitment. Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Vonique Toot.
In crime news, police have arrested 3 females, including a 17-year-old girl, in connection with an early morning stabbing incident. According to police reports, a 20-year-old woman was on East Street and Andros Avenue shortly before 3 this morning when she got into a fight with 3 females ages 25, 19, and 17. The victim was subsequently stabbed in the arm and back. She was taken to hospital where she is reportedly listed in stable condition. A 33-year-old man and 2 17-year-old boys are also behind bars tonight after $7,000 worth of suspected marijuana was found in their home. Acting on intelligence, Drug Enforcement Unit officers executed a search warrant on a home on Palm Beach Street around 5 Friday afternoon. They discovered 7 pounds of marijuana. Police say the 3 males will appear in court early next week on drug-related charges. In other crime news, copper thieves struck the Bahamas Telecommunications Company once again, getting away with a large amount of copper wire. According to police reports, officers from the Southwestern Division were on routine patrol on Rocky Pine Road shortly before 3 a.m. when they noticed a man loading what they described as a huge amount of copper wire into a Toyota license plate number 216626. After making inquiries, officials learned that the copper wire had been stolen from a nearby BTC overhead and ground connection. Police say they expect to make an arrest in this matter shortly. As questions arise over $500 million in uncollected property taxes, State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis says the government does have plans to collect that money. Following the Nassau Guardian's revelation that Chief VAT Advocate Ishmael Lightbourne is behind on his property taxes, Halkitis told NB12 there has been a firestorm of interest in real property taxes. Government is currently owed $500 million. He cited the global economic crisis and long-standing failures in the system as reasons the government has not taken an aggressive approach to tax collection. However, the State Minister for Finance said the government is committed to pursuing outstanding payments and is encouraging people behind on their tax payments to work out a payment plan.
And so we're making strides, but we have to realize that we have come through a tough period, and we want to be aggressive. But again, you don't want to be counterproductive. All right, but we are serious. I mean, that's the message I want to say to the Bahamian people, is that we are serious about collections.
Halkitis explained that $500 million figure is divided into 3 categories: vacant property, commercial property, and owner-occupied property. He said the government is empowered by law to take action in certain cases where taxes are outstanding, such as vacant property tax, which is only paid by non-Bahamians. While the government has the authority, he said it usually doesn't reach that point.
And what we find is that when we are very stern and tell people that we're about to take a certain course of action, we find that they come in. So that's ongoing.
In cases where the government is not empowered by the Act to take control of properties, such as commercial properties, a category in which a significant amount is outstanding, Halkitis said the government works out payment plans with businesses to get them up to date while still keeping them open. Aggressive action, he explained, could negatively affect the economy.
Remember that we have gone through a very difficult period. Businesses have gone through a very difficult period, and I imagine some of them have elected to keep their doors open and keep employees hired and maybe just let the real property tax slide. It would be counterproductive for us, I think, to take a stance that, okay, we're going to either pay it all at once or we're going to shut you down.
As it relates to residences in which a lower amount is outstanding, Halkitis said the government again shies away from taking a hostile approach. Rather, officials just encourage Bahamians to work out a way to pay what's owed. He explained that in some instances, blame for outstanding monies can lie in part with the government.
Because what we find is, people may have let it accumulate. Maybe through some fault of our department, we have not been getting bills to them on time, and so there's been that accumulation, and so it's really unfair to not give someone a bill and then for 10 years later you give them a bill and say you owe for the last 10 years.
As the debate over government tax dodgers continues, former Free National Movement Member of Parliament Brenzel Roll is questioning how Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts would know who has paid their taxes or not. Roberts told NB12 last week that a full disclosure of who owes real property taxes may be a surprise to members of the FNM. However, Roll, who appeared on Guardian radio talk show Daryl Miller Live, says that's not the real issue.
Well, Bradley Roberts has not been in government for more than 5 years, 10 years. What obligation does the government of the Bahamas have to this man?
Roll also responded to Labor Minister Shane Gibson, who promised to expose current and former members of the FNM who haven't paid their real property taxes.
It's unfortunate, in my view, that the minister sought to say he was going to expose the tax dodgers in the Free National Movement. If I were the Prime Minister, I would have today laid on the table of the House the list of all of the persons in the government and the status of their tax.
Roll says every member of the government ought to be up to date on their taxes.
I think if you're going to ask the public to pay taxes and pay new taxes, you should at least be clean.
Still to come on NB12 Weekend, what the opposition leader thinks of medical marijuana.
We must respect the laws of the Bahamas, and We must abide by the laws of Bahamas, what the laws are now.
And a little later, a lesson in self-defense. So stay with us.